Welcome back everybody to Veve Gems, where you get periodic videos on top quality NFTs on the Veve app, which I call Veve Gems. Today I will show you the top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, along with a portfolio tracker and Veve stats for week number 4. And this is not financial advice. For those of you interested in more details and the key assumptions and the methodology used in arriving to these top 10 undervalued comics on Veve, you can always check my video on July 30th, 2022, where you can see all of these details. This table shows the cost in gems per MCP point. So the darker the green shade, the better the value. But in general, any amounts of 10 or less would be considered good value as cost in gems per MCP point. So here on the list we can see good value in number 1, number 4, and number 7, and number 10 on the list. This table shows the supply percentage still available on the market relative to the total edition size for each variant. We can notice that there's still a lot of supply for number 1 and number 3 on the list. The reason for which is that these comics have been recently dropped. So we can expect some volatility in the prices of these comics with huge supply on the market until the prices stabilize and the supply starts going down to be in line with the rest of the comics on this top 10 list. This table shows the percent upside potential in value based on the common variants, price, and edition size. So the comics with the highest upside potential are number 2, number 5, and number 9 on the list. And specifically for number 2, Marvel Comics number 1, we have an upside potential of 692% for the uncommon and 738% for the rare. And for Fantastic Four number 1, the uncommon's upside potential is 692 and the rare's upside potential is 625%. And for number 9, Amazing Spider-Man number 1, the uncommon has an upside potential of 563%. For those of you interested in the secret rares, and based on this analysis, there's only 2 comics with an upside potential, which is number 1, Tales to Astonish number 13, and that has a 16% upside potential, and number 7, which is Fantastic Four number 12, with a 4% upside potential for the secret rare. This table shows the current prices of the comics on the top 10 undervalued comics list. So as a general rule, the darker the green shade, the better the value, and of course the better the price. And this is just to give you some perspective of the prices of the top 10 undervalued comics relative to each other on the list. This table shows the total editions minted for these top 10 comics on the list. If we look at the last column, we see the total editions, and looking at the first column, we see the number of editions under the common variant. Then the next column, the number of editions for the uncommon variant, then the rare, ultra rare, and secret rare. The factors on the right side of the table show you how rare is that variant compared to the common variant. So looking at number 1, Marvel Comics number 1, the uncommon is 8 times more rare than the common. In other words, there is 8 commons for each one uncommon, and there's 16 commons for each rare. There's 20 commons for each ultra rare and 80 commons for each secret rare. So this table will give you some perspective of how rare each variant is compared to the common mid-size. This table shows this week's top 10 undervalued comics on Veve along with the variants and prices as of today. So if you were to purchase this top 10 list for the investor's portfolio, the total cost would be 1,023.69 gems. And in this week's collector portfolio, in which we add only the new comics that make it to the top 10 list, we have 2 comics this week and their variants and their prices. So for the collector's portfolio this week, the total addition would be 26.71 gems worth of comics. This table shows the performance of the top 10 undervalued comics that were selected last week. As we can see in the total down below, we have a total decrease of 279.71 gems for the week. This mainly came from number 3 on the list, which is Amazing Fantasy number 15, which went down by 30%. As we know, Amazing Fantasy number 15 was recently dropped, and usually we can expect some volatility in the first few weeks in the prices of comics that recently dropped. This table shows the performance of the comics that were added to the collector's portfolio last week. And as we can see, we have a total decrease of 281.44 gems for the week. Again, the reason for which is the performance of number 2 on the list, which is Amazing Fantasy number 15. And we know that this recently dropped, and we can expect volatility in the short term because it recently dropped. This table shows the cumulative performance of both the investor and the collector portfolios. For the investor's portfolio, we have invested a total of 2,106.19 gems, currently valued at 1,821.8 gems. So that's a total decrease of 284.39 gems, or a negative 13.5%. For the collector's portfolio, the total investment has been 1,572 gems with a current value of 1,274.12 gems, for a total decrease of 297.88 gems, or almost 19% negative. This table shows the weekly Veve social media stats, and for Twitter we have added 16 new followers this week and a total of 63 followers since we started tracking on week 1. On Discord we have lost 1,000 followers. On Facebook we have added 57 followers this week and a total of 216 followers since week 1. And finally, Instagram, it seems we have been consistently losing followers. So this week we have lost 297 followers and a total of 1,245 followers since we started tracking on week 1. This table shows Veve's Immutascan stats for this week. So looking at the number of tokens minted, we have a total of 7,076,438 tokens minted so far, and last week's change alone is an addition of 44,448 tokens, which is a 0.63% increase over the previous week. Moving on to the unique owners, we have 646,116 unique owners, and this represents a 398 new unique owners compared to last week, which is a 0.06% increase. Finally, going to the TMO ratio, which is the tokens minted to unique owners ratio, it went up from 10.8 to 10.95. So what this means is on week 1 there were 10.8 tokens on average per unique owner, and right now it's 10.95 per unique owner. So in general, as long as this ratio keeps going up, we can expect sideways to downward movement in the values in the market, unless Veve really carefully manages this ratio. Here is a snapshot of my collection on the Veve app. You are welcome to follow me on the app by searching the Avengers logo edition number 100. It is under the Disney Golden Moments brand. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below. As you see in my previous videos, I always respond to each and every question. If you got value out of this video, hit the like and subscribe button so that you can keep informed every week when I post updates. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.